Hey guys, it's Stephen here back with another video, and today I'm going to indulge big time. A lot of people have been asking me in the comments and on Twitter, Stephen, who are your dream signings for Manchester City? So today I thought I'd use this chance on a rainy, miserable day in Manchester to answer that question, because I want to talk about 5 players that I feel personally, even though they're not totally realistic, they're not unrealistic either. I didn't want to go for names like Mbappe or Messi or whatever, because that's never going to happen, let's be honest. I wanted to go for players that are kind of slightly dream signings that aren't totally out of the realms of possibility, if that makes sense. Some of them are more likely than others, some maybe not likely, but I wanted to go for them anyway. Before I do that, though, I want to say if you are new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're a fan of Manchester City content and just good and measured friendly chat about football in general, because hopefully I'm your man. Hit that subscribe button and let's get into today's video. I'm going to start initially with one that you may disagree with, but a one that I've always wanted back at Manchester City, Jaden Sancho. Now, I absolutely love and adore Jaden Sancho. I think he's an absolutely world-class talent, the kind of talent that could only really replace Sane and guaranteed to be excess, in my humble opinion. Now, he's only 20 years old, and what he's achieved already as a young 20-year-old Englishman over in Germany is simply quite astonishing. 44 games this season, 20 goals and 20 assists. That's astonishing for a guy who has no right to be good at that age. Now, one thing I love about Sancho is he's more or less guaranteed goals and assists. He's such an intelligent footballer, and that kind of development and that kind of productivity for someone of his age, you just don't get that. If you got those numbers from Robin Ribéry over in Germany, you'd be like very happy. He does this as a teenager. Now, he's 20 now, but until recently he was a teenager. It's just almost not on. It's almost too good for that level. People will turn around and go, oh, it's only the Bundesliga. But honestly, genuinely, Robin and Ribéry in the old conquering Bayern struggled, didn't really beat those numbers, which is impressive. Didn't even match those numbers, someone will tell me. But either way, this kid, I love his versatility. I love his intelligence. I love his game awareness. I love the fact that he can play on the left or the right. I love that he knows when to pass it and when to beat a man, and he can beat a man. I love the fact that he gets assists and takes pleasure in them. I love the fact that he has pace and he can score goals, and he will always choose the right choice. I just love it. And the fact that he's only 20 and he's developed so well, and he could have gone over there and been a flop, it just shows how good he is. He's honestly an astonishingly good talent. And the only reason some people turn their noses up at him is because he left Manchester City in the way that he did. It wasn't a good way to leave a club, but he was literally only just 17. He was a baby in the grand scheme of things. Seriously, when I was 17, which is half of my life ago now, I made some terrible decisions, but I didn't probably have multi-millionaire agents in my ear telling me to leave a club who can be very persuasive. It doesn't make him a bad person, and as far as I'm aware, Manchester City probably would take him back if they felt that was the right move. I don't think it's going to happen, of course, but I would love Sancho at Manchester City. He would single-handedly solve our wing problems if we've got any of them. He would perfectly replace Sane. He would give us options other than Sterling on the left, and I'd be very happy with that. I want Sancho back. Secondly, for me, I'm going to go for his Dortmund teammate. I'm going to go for Haaland. I would absolutely love Haaland at Manchester City. What more can be said about Haaland? He turns 20 in a couple of weeks, and his record already in the game is absolutely astonishing. I was reading some stats about him before. He became the first ever teenager to score in his first 4 matches in the Champions League. And the 4th player of any age to achieve that, alongside the likes of Alessandro Del Piero and Diego Costa. He did it as a teenager. On 27th of November, he scored another goal against Genk to reach 5 consecutive matches, and he's joined Del Piero, Rebrov, Neymar, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lewandowski in doing so. Astonishing records for a team, with all due respect, like RB Salzburg. Like, he was playing at a much lower level than some of these players who equalled his records, and he did it as a teenager in a team nowhere near as good as they should have been. Haaland is a freak of nature. He's already got 16 goals in 18 games for Dortmund. He did join in January, so he's unlikely to leave, but ideally I would love him at Manchester City. Now, some people have said he's not like what City strikers are, though. He's not that great at link-up play and all that kind of stuff. 1, I slightly disagree with that. He's not as bad as people make out to be. But 2, that's the reason I want him. I don't want another guy who's good at intricate footwork around the box. I want someone who's just a pure bastard in front of goal. I want someone with pace, strength, athleticism, and that kind of intelligent off-the-ball movement. He always seems to know where to be at the right moment at the right time. He's got a sheer goal scorer's instinct, and he's still young enough to learn how to be much better at link-up play. He's not even 20 yet. He turns 20 in a couple of weeks. Haaland, for me, would just bring goals. He would bring intelligence intelligence. He would bring a physicality to our forward line that we lack. We haven't got someone great in the air. We haven't got someone with that pace at the moment to really get in behind. Aguero's losing his pace a little bit, and Haaland is faster than Gabriel Jesus. And his movement and his work rate, and if we sign Sancho as well, well, that would be just a dream because they understand each other's game so well at the moment. I like that he's such a machine in terms of how he learns. I wanted something a little bit different, and I think Haaland could be an absolute beast at Manchester City. I just love him at Manchester City. Is it going to happen? Probably not, but I want him, definitely. Next on this list is Koulibaly from Napoli. Now, I've bigged him up a lot before, and there's a video I've made about him. Go watch that. Koulibaly, for me, would tick the box massively. He's a bit old, yes, definitely. He's 29 years old. But what he would immediately bring is this stability and assurance to our defence that we desperately need. We've got young players that I really have faith in the long term, like Garcia. Maybe Howard Bellis or Adebayo could start to fill some potential as well. But what we need now, in my humble opinion, is someone of world-class ability, genuine world-class ability to sit alongside Laporte and bolster Manchester City's defence. Stones and Otamendi just aren't the level we need. Fernandinho's 35 and Garcia still needs a little bit more time to show he could be the one for the long-term future. I rate him, don't get me wrong, but we cannot rely on that defence for next year. And Koulibaly would come in, and he would already know Manchester City's game. He's like the closest thing we can get to a Kompany replacement at the moment. He already knows City's passing style because he played that under Sarri at Napoli. He already has that pace as well that we need. He's fast, he's strong, he's an absolute beast of a defender as well. He's so aggressive in his style, which I absolutely love. And he's also a leader. Sometimes a player can come in and be an instant leader. It can be such a massive boost for a club. I hate to say it, but look what Van Dijk has done over at Liverpool. He's transformed their defence because of that composure and that awareness and that just all-round ability. You put Laporte alongside Koulibaly, and all of a sudden we've got the best central defensive partnership in the whole world. Genuinely, he's that good. And Koulibaly, if we got him for a decentish price, we'd get, a good 4 or 5 years out of him. Maybe 3 years at his highest level, then 2 years as a squad player. I would be more than fine with that. It solves so many problems, and I want him at Manchester City. Next on my list, and this may surprise you, is Houssem Aouar. I want Aouar in at Manchester City. I think he's a fantastic footballer, and I still believe we actually do need someone who can replace David Silva. I know you may be screaming at the screen, Stephen, but what about Phil Foden? I actually don't think Phil Foden is that kind of player. I think Phil Foden is more like Kevin De Bruyne, and I think there's a place for all of them. I like the idea of Aouar coming in and actually taking over David Silva's mantle. Now, the way I see it in terms of midfielders, you'd have someone like Bernardo maybe out on the right challenging Mahrez, Sancho challenging Sterling on the left. Then you'd have as the false eight, so to speak, De Bruyne, Foden and Aouar all there with kind of Rodri and Gundogan as the holding midfielders. I think largely that would set us up really, really nicely. What I love about Aouar is that he has that kind of grace that you can't get from many footballers, that pauser, as the term is, that David Silva has so well, where you could pick up the pace, dictate the game's tempo, exceptional technique in tight situations, the way he kind of keeps the defenders away from the ball, and the way he can shimmy and feint and go this way and that way, and despite only being 22 years old, despite being that intelligent already, and the fact that he's done it against Manchester City in the past, I love him. He does have a dash of acceleration, which young David Silva did as well. The way he can burst past defenders and rarely lose the ball in the midfield would be so vital for Manchester City. And I also love the fact that he's incredibly tactically aware, and he's also not unwilling to put in a defensive shift. He reads the game exceptionally well. He's not afraid to make tackles and put his foot in, and he's very willing to press from the front. I think his tactical understanding could mark him out potentially as some kind of David Silva successor. I would really like him alongside De Bruyne and Foden as our number 8 options, and I think he'd be fantastic there. And finally, for me, I've gone for Alaba. He's available apparently because he's only got 12 months left on his contract, and really I've gone for him because I think he ticks a few boxes for us. Now, he's like Zinchenko on steroids. So Zinchenko's meant to be this versatile kind of inverted left back, but he's okay. But Alaba is what he is, but 10 times better, with all due respect to Zinchenko. Alaba is a world-class left back, and also what I love about Alaba at the moment is that he can play in defence. He's been playing for Bayern Munich at centre back, and he's been very good there. He can also play in central midfield. He can play further up in midfield as well in terms of the wings and do a decent job. He's just basically a complete all-round footballer, and more than that, he does have leadership tendencies as well. I want players who do have that kind of winning mentality, and Alaba does have that. So what I love about the idea of Alaba coming in, and it's probably not going to happen, but it's not unrealistic because he does have 12 months left in his contract, is that he offers something different at left back to Mendy as well. Mendy's your traditional bombarding, crossing winger, but Alaba can do bits of that, but he's also a lot more intelligent and a lot more versatile. And Guardiola, that we know, loves him. Guardiola was a big influence on his career and how he reached the level that he did. And I love the idea of having essentially him as a backup centre-back as well. I think you'd solve that problem there while also being an alternative at left-back and just providing so much more intelligence, leadership and control in our squad. I really, really, really rate him. I think all these players, all of a sudden you've got a squad with like Walker, Cancelo at right back, then you've got like Koulibaly, Laporte, maybe Alaba and Garcia and Fernandinho, then you've got like Mendy, then maybe Alaba as well, and then you've got Rodri and Gundogan holding midfield, then you've got De Bruyne, Foden and Auer kind of all rotating around the midfield, then with Mahrez and Bernardo and Sterling and Sancho out wide. Bernardo obviously could come into midfield every now and then as well, but then Aguero, Jesus and Haaland through the middle. It's just a squad blessed full of options that I think solves every single problem that we've got. Now, once again, these are just a dream case scenario, you know. I'm not totally unrealistic. I know most of these won't happen, if any of them happen at all. But I think these solve every problem that Manchester City have got. And this is why I would love it. They're my 5 dream signings. Let me know your 5 dream signings down in the comments below. Subscribe as well if you're new to the channel. If you're watching this video and you're a Manchester City fan or a football fan in general, click that subscribe button. Give this video a like. Share it amongst your friends, all that kind of stuff. And I'll see you tomorrow for another video.